George and Vance were both problem drinkers. After being paired through an online accountability buddy program, the two began an email correspondence, despite living in different countries. In each other, they both unexpectedly found kindred souls. Even though an ocean separated them, George and Vance just understood each other. They both felt they only came alive when drinking, and they had both begun drinking as a result of trauma in their younger days. The single most important thing they had in common, though, which didn't come out explicitly until months into their friendship, was something that they both knew deep inside, something they had resigned themselves to, and that was the fact that the battles they were fighting were only temporary. They had no illusions of superiority over their addictions, and knew they could only be delayed, never defeated entirely. George and Vance agreed that once denying drinking got too hard for both of them, once that itch became too deep, they would cease refusing to scratch it. They would continue their digital correspondence in the meantime, enjoying sobriety while they could, but once they both reached the breaking point, they would give up. Vance would come to George's country and they would finally meet in person, having a hell of a night of drinking and celebration, while willingly falling off of the sobriety horse together, hand in hand. The promise of such a glorious return to indulgence helped dull the edge of many cravings over the years for both of them. Not today, but one day worked for a long time. And then it didn't anymore. George was first to admit that he could abstain no longer, but it was an admission that Vance had been awaiting. He had long been approaching the breaking point as well. 21 days into abstinence, Vance traveled to George's country so that they could end their sobriety together. The two men stood in George's kitchen, holding shot glasses of vodka together, excitement flowing through their veins. "My friend, it has been an honor," Vance said. "Goodbye, sober Vance," George responded. "I can't wait to finally meet the real you." Then he brought the glass to his lips, pouring the vodka down his throat. It burned sweetly, but Vance had not done the same. Instead, he lowered his glass back to the table and smiled sadly at George. "Goodbye, sober George," he replied, and leaned in to hug the other man. George returned the hug. "Bottoms up, man." As he finished speaking, George felt a sharp pain in his neck, and in the second of lucidity before he fell unconscious, he realized Vance was biting him. Vance drained George of blood in less than 10 minutes. When he was done drinking, he carried George gingerly to the man's backyard and buried him with the bottle of vodka. Then Vance left the country, leaving his sobriety buried with the best friend he had ever had.